Hi, I'm Dr. Mike, host of the free iTunes podcast, Psychiatric Secrets Revealed with Dr. Mike, but that's not why I'm here today. I'm here to look once again at saving money. Well, actually this time I'm looking at photo editors again. I'm trying to use that title a little bit too much, I guess. This time we're looking at mid-range photo editors. In a talk that I did a little earlier, we looked at a very simple photo editor called Photo Explosion Deluxe, and that was an editor that just about anyone could use after a few minutes of effort. These next three editors are a lot more complicated but incredibly powerful. The three that we're going to look at typically sell for about $100 each, but the great news is they're all on endless sales for around $60 or $70, and some of them you can even download a 30-day free trial and test them out before you even buy them. And those are fully functioning trials, so I would definitely suggest that. The three that we're going to look at today are Photoimpact, which is now sold under the Corel brand. It used to be under the ULEAD brand, but ULEAD got bought by Corel. Serif Photo Plus, and Corel's Paint Shop Pro. And this particular program was also owned by a different company. It was owned by JASK before, but Corel took it over a couple of years ago, and they've really done a fine job making it as user-friendly as possible. You might ask, why not Photoshop Elements? Well, I'm at PC Magazine, and so I'm kind of relegated to what I can find and dig up, and I don't have a copy of Photoshop Elements, but I may in the future, so you may see a report on that. All of these programs are extremely capable programs, and all of them, in my humble opinion, are perfectly capable of meeting the needs of even the most dedicated hobbyists, and frankly, probably most professionals too. Who needs the true copy of Photoshop, which by the way sells for over $600? I would say someone who does a lot of pre-press work. You know, they're taking their photos or their other things and turning them into printed publications. They might need Photoshop. Or those people that work in an environment where they have to have absolute Photoshop file compatibility. Maybe they're passing files back and forth between several computers or several different users. That's a small percentage of folks out there. So most people will find that these programs are absolutely sufficient for their needs. What are my qualifications? Well, I really don't have a lot of qualifications. I'm just a hobbyist myself. I've been doing photo editing since the early or mid-90s, so I've been doing it for a long time using a variety of programs, some cheesy and some professional. I definitely have done a little professional work too, mostly for my clinics publications, so I've done some pre-press work and I've done some online stuff. I'm going to show you some of that as we move through this little talk. So what am I? I'm just a consumer like you, so maybe that's a good thing, maybe that's a bad thing, but it means that when I say this stuff, if I can do it, you certainly can do it too. What are my suggestions when using these programs? First of all, it's going to take time to understand these programs. This is not a situation where you just go and you buy the program and you open it up and you're doing photo editing immediately. Sometimes using the simple stuff you can, but not if you're going to do anything more complex. Don't be afraid to experiment and practice, practice, practice. And please take advantage of the many tutorials and lessons that these programs offer. They have on-screen help, they have web help, a lot of them come with videos, and those particular help type files have been really honed down and improved, and they're excellent. They're going to teach you things like, what does dodge and burn mean? Things that most people don't understand. These are arcane terms from the days of the darkroom, but you're going to need to know them if you're going to use these programs effectively. So let's see what an editor can do. I'm going to show you a bunch of things that I have done with these photo editors just in the last couple of months. Not that these are great examples or I'm some great editor, and these are not tutorials because I'm not going to show you how to do them. I just want to kind of whet your appetite to show you the power of these editors and how they differ from just the simple editor that came with your camera. Okay, let's take a look at some of the things you can do with these different software programs. Here is a graphic that I made just for fun, and it illustrates that you can do a lot more with photo editing programs than just edit photos. This was actually done in Photoimpact, which is especially strong in this area. And you can see I could add gradients, different types of text, effects on the text, shadows, all that sort of stuff with relative ease. Here's another photo. This was a slide that I used for a professional talk, and I wanted to illustrate a certain part of this slide. I wanted to draw the attention of the audience to a particular part of the slide, and that was very easy to do with a photo editor. So you can add stuff to your photos too. In this photo, you can see it's kind of a cute photo. It's taken crooked. There's a lot of other extraneous stuff, and I really wanted to focus on the two girls running in the front. I wanted to not only crop away the other parts of the image, but I wanted to straighten the image, and I wanted to remove some elements that you would see in the cropped image. And we get this result here. So a much better, much more powerful picture. Here you see a picture of me. It's taken with a lot of backlight, and I'm pretty much out of the loop here. You can barely see my face. So with some adjustments like backlighting or levels, you can see that I'm much improved in this slide. If you like this next one, I have a little more contrast in this one, whatever one you prefer, but we go from an unusable slide to a usable one. Here's one of my colleagues. This was for a print publication that I did, and you can see that it looks okay, but he needs a little work on his face, a little tonal adjustment. I also wanted to change the background to something that was more dynamic, and I wanted to get rid of that name badge that he was wearing. And these are the final results, much improved. Here's another one of my colleagues. I took her picture on a background that was really not good for her particular complexion. When I got it home, I thought to myself, oh boy, this is not going to look too good. And this was for a web-based publication, so I really wanted her to kind of pop. So I did a lot of work on this slide, not only adjusting levels, but changing the background. And I did some makeover type of work too, removing some blemishes, even adding a little extra rouge with airbrush. And this is the result. Again, much improved, I feel. Much better. Here we have a very cute baby. I'm a little biased on this one. And although this is an adorable picture, I wanted to turn his head the other way. I also wanted to remove some of the little blemishes that babies get. I wanted to improve the overall color tone, and I wanted to get rid of some of the spittle that you see coming from his mouth. And this is the result. So we go from a cute picture to a Gerber baby. And here you see that I've taken a crooked picture of this carillon, which is a bell tower. There's also a distracting influence, which is the light pole. And I wanted to pop the colors a bit more. So using some cloning tools and straightening tools and just some usual exposure controls, we come up with this picture, again, much improved. Here we have a great beach scene from one of our local beaches. I thought it had a real 50s look, and I wanted to give it that 1950s or 1960s postcard look by really popping the colors, in this case just flooding the sky with an almost outrageous turquoise, which is this, and I think it really does give it that 1950s look. Here we have a flower just taken from a local garden. It's a close-up using a macro lens, and I thought, well, this would be cute to use in a card or a thank you note or something like that, but I wanted to give it a different effect. I wanted to not only blur the background to make the flower stand out, but I wanted to turn it into a black and white color type picture. Very easy to do with these programs. You get something that looks like this, a lot more interesting in my opinion. And here we have, if I can go back in my slides, another picture. I needed a little piece of photo art for one of my offices, just something small to put in the corner. And I came across this bench on one of the walking paths by my house. It's a really kind of a cool bench. I think it's kind of weathered and solid looking. I like the style of it. So by taking this bench and doing some different things in filters and edges, I was able to come up with this. Notice the edge is a little bit ragged, and we're in a monochromatic green kind of high contrast theme, something that was perfect for a little photo in my office and really dressed up the place. So there you have it, a bunch of different things that you can do in a photo editor. And these are just some things that me as a rank amateur have done. I'm sure you can think of even better ideas beyond that.